Okay, you are welcome to this channel, and we will be dealing with the introduction to transportation and the traffic engineering. Mainly, we will look at the definition of transportation and traffic engineering. What is transportation engineering? According to Wikipedia, contributions from all engineers is the definition they put together. Transport or transportation engineering is the application of technology and scientific principles to the planning, functional design, operation, and management of facilities for any mode of transportation in order to provide for the safe, efficient, excuse, rapid, comfortable, convenient, economic, and environmentally compatible movement of people and goods. Transportation or transport engineering. It is the application of technology and scientific principles to the planning, functional design, operation, and management of facilities for any mode of transportation in order to provide for the safe, efficient, rapid, comfortable, convenient, economic, and environmentally compatible movement of people and goods. So now let us look at these terminologies. Technology as applied to transportation engineering. Scientific principles as applied to transportation engineering. What is transportation engineering? Scientific principles in transportation engineering. These principles are at work in the fundamental elements of the scientific method, such as formulating a hypothesis, designing an experiment to test the hypothesis, and collecting and interpreting data. So now, how do engineers carry out scientific methods in engineering activities? For example, on the transportation engineering, if you want to study the behavior of vehicles on a given segment of the road, or let's say the flow of vehicles, the movement of vehicles traversing a given segment of the road, you have to collect the data. For example, you want to investigate the conjunction, allocation, or intersection A, or conjunction that is taking place in environment B. You need to collect data. This data involves the number of vehicles traversing that road per time taken, number of vehicles traversing that road per the lane taken, and also that various intersection, how many vehicles are entering and leaving that intersection, and the time they take to leave. So all those parameters you collect will help you to find the delay, other parameters that you may need to investigate the flow of traffic on that road or congestion that it is creating, maybe due to bottlenecks or maybe due to other or breakdown of the structures. So scientific methods that collect data, you investigate the data and bring out the solutions to the problem. You design an experiment. Experimentation there is mainly how do we carry out experimentation in engineering, transportation engineering, for instance, for where we have just discussed about collecting data. How do we carry out an experimentation? Our experimental test is dealing with the data itself, also dealing with the what a stimulate or a simulation of what is happening there in our devices, or using our technology nowadays. I use our computers to see what is going on there. We investigate it using models, and we test our hypothesis by what? Comparing the model's results to real life effects. So that's how we do our scientific or carry out scientific principles, and so many principles. So we observe, we collect data, we carry out scientific guess, and then we test our data and come and solve the problems that happen in real life. What are some of the words that we talk about? Planning. What is planning? Operation, or what happens with planning, operation, management in transportation engineering. These are key things. Also planning, we need to observe, or we have to foresee or plan strategically and see what is happening, or what is happening already, how to curtail those. Let's say we have already have a problem on the road. Bottlenecks are caused due to breakdown of the structure, the road infrastructure. We want to see how well we can create new roads, or maybe how well we can work on the old existing road, and see how well we can do the maintenance. The planning has to be carried out. The length of the road, the width, and the degree of the breakdown of this infrastructure. Operation. We operation there. Transportation engineering is focused on how the system is managed, how the system is being controlled by the various departments that are controlling or heading or monitoring the traffic or the transportation sector. Management has to deal with how well we are looking after carrying out maintenance, or how well practitioners, our engineers that are on the field there at monitoring, evaluating what is happening with the traffic flow, with the infrastructure, with the environment, and how well they can be worked upon properly to avoid further deterioration, or also breakdown, or maybe to curtail some effects that it may cause on the environment, negative impacts on the environment. Safety, efficiency, convenience, comfort, economic and environmental effects also are important. In the definition, they are included because these are parameters that help us to measure also the quality of the traffic, the quality of our infrastructure, quality of our transportation facilities, on the perspective of the users, the end users. So they need to be safe. So in transportation design of the structures, we have to be careful with the vertical and the horizontal alignments, and see how well they can be properly taken care of, including the clearance and the various intersections and the various curves. Have to see how well they can properly be designed and be correctly be worked upon and implemented during the planning status and designing and the implementation status of the construction of the roads. Efficiency, how well these roads are being used and how well the end users are making good use of it. How convenient is it with the transportation? How the roads are looking at the distance, the delays on the road, the road itself, or how it is looking like if it comes to the structure, the pavement, and maybe whether there are potholes there, and there are some distresses on the road that may cause problems for their comfort. And economically, this should be economical in nature, environmentally safe for the people who are dwelling there, and also for the fauna and the flora. Okay, this document is from Wikipedia. So that's the link. That's a big link. Summarized link. Shocking link. Okay, thank you very much. See you next time.